Welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
So today we're doing something pretty different, really unique actually. We're diving into these excerpts from a memoir. It's incredibly personal, kind of unsettling, honestly. Spans centuries.
It really does. It's quite the read.
And our mission basically is to unpack this narrator's viewpoint. It's all about existence, control, trauma, and this really complex relationship with someone they just call you.
Yeah, unnamed, which adds to the mystery.
Exactly. So we're hoping this deep dive gives you a kind of shortcut,
Yeah,
a way into the insights hidden in this really unusual account.
definitely. And it is intense. Like you said, unsettling. It's not just the story she's telling.
Oh.
No, it feels like. Well, the narrator says it's a desperate need to record things. She says she has to write a full account of our life together, from the trembling start all the way to the brutal end.
Wow. Trembling start to brutal end.
Yeah. And it's not just for posterity. She's afraid of going mad, basically. Afraid she'll convince herself none of it happened.
So the writing itself is like proof, an anchor.
Exactly that. An anchor. It's about validating these, well, terrifying experiences, making them real so she can't deny them later.
That makes sense. It sets a really dark tone from the get-go. And this leads into a philosophy, if you can call it that, which is just chilling.
It really is.
This figure, you, teaches her to never feel guilty, to revel when the world demands mourning.
Yeah.
I mean, what does that do to someone, especially someone potentially living forever? How does that shift your whole view on life, on death?
Well, it's a complete reversal, isn't it, of normal human morality. It suggests more than just, manipulation. It's like her whole emotional core is being rewired.
Rewired, yeah.
To find meaning in basically defying human norms. It's not just about getting by. It's presented as this kind of twisted liberation from grief.
Like the line about the brides who will toast your memory and drink deep.
Exactly. It shows this profound detachment from how humans usually experience things right from the start.
And this detachment, this philosophy, it's backed up by immediate control, isn't it? There's that scene early on.
the sanctum, yeah.
Right. Yeah, basically lays down the law. Being permitted entry is a privilege. Do not touch anything, Constanta.
Yeah.
And just like that, we'd get her name, Constanta. But it's not an invitation, is it? It's pure command. What does it tell us about their relationship right off the bat?
It tells you everything, pretty much. It's not just setting rules. It's about total dominance.
Yeah.
Constanta is basically passive. She just receives your will, even down to, whether she can touch something.
It's infantilizing, almost.
It absolutely is, and it totally sets the stage for the internal conflict she talks about later, struggling with your secrets, admitting she can't rationalize your lies away.
And she doesn't have the courage to confront you.
Right. She even feels shame about trying to run away once.
Right.
So that first scene, it's a huge foreshadowing of how complete your control is over everything.
So this control, this weird philosophy,
Yeah.
it all leads to this profound change in her being. She describes it vividly, calls it waking death. Can you unpack that a bit more? What does that feel like, this waking death? It's not just being hungry, right?
No, not at all. She's very clear. It's way more than physical hunger. She actually likens it more to religious ecstasy than a carnal climax.
Religious ecstasy, wow.
Yeah, she says she feels more truly alive in my waking death, which is a huge paradox.
There really is, like her true life is this death state.
Precisely. Her vitality, her sense of being alive is tied up in this act of bloodlust. It's not just eating, it's something spiritual, maybe? Defining, certainly.
That's a wild way to redefine being alive. And what's also strange is that even after feeding, she says she didn't feel exactly satiated.
Right.
The hunger was still there, quiet but present. What do you make of that? It's not about calories then.
Definitely not. It suggests maybe it's an unfillable void. Or just a fundamental part of what she is now. It's perpetual.
And this unquenchable state seems tied to how she looks, how she feels physically.
Oh, absolutely. That physical description is haunting. The reddish hair that shone with the illusion of life but was always cold to the touch.
Yeah.
And the skin, like unnaturally pale, like women using white lead back then. And her eyes, dark and flat, more animal than woman. Forgetting to blink sometimes.
Creepy. And the fear about her reflection fading, leaving just a cold, unbroken surface of a mirror.
She calls herself a perfect, immovable statue, painfully beautiful. It's like this static, cold beauty is linked to that hunger.
So this unchanging appearance, the constant quiet hunger. How does the memoir link that back to her past, to trauma?
Well, it draws a direct line. It connects this lingering hunger, this state she's in, back to this awful, specific event. The horror of being beaten while my family burned to death.
God, that's brutal.
It is. And the text says explicitly, the appetite for revenge those men had sown in me was still there, curled up tight and sleeping fitfully.
Ah, so it's not just bloodlust. It's revenge, an emotional hunger as much as a physical one.
Exactly. It frames her whole condition not just as, vampirism or whatever it is, but as this ongoing echo of trauma, an unfulfilled quest for vengeance.
That adds another layer entirely.
Mm.
Makes you wonder how that festers over centuries.
Right.
And speaking of centuries, we get these amazing glimpses into the world changing around them. The sanctum, for instance.
Yeah, that collection of
It's
devices.
filled with beloved devices. Beakers, abacuses, astrolabes, compasses, medical tools from all over. Greece, Italy, Persia, the Caliphate. Some used, some untouched for ages.
It says a lot about you, doesn't it, this collecting habit?
What do you think it shows? What's the motivation?
Well, the memoir states your goal, pretty clearly, to decipher the mysteries of the body, to catalog the human animal and uncover its intricacies.
So, a scientific curiosity across eras.
Yeah, but mixed with this real disdain for the present, wherever that present is. Like looking down on Europe's science at the time, saying, the greatest minds of Europe cannot riddle out the simplest diseases or equations.
While Persia was way ahead.
Exactly. You mentions Persia having more advanced science, charting blood flow, complex operations, while Europe was, more basic. It's this perspective of an unchanging observer watching civilizations rise and fall scientifically.
So you is this ancient knowledge hoarder, always feeling a bit superior to the current age.
Pretty much sums it up.
And they see so many ages. The memoir mentions them traveling through Europe around the turn of the 18th century.
Witnessing massive changes.
Cities getting bigger and dirtier, empires expanding, fields razed to the ground by war, just constant upheaval.
But here's the kicker.
Yeah.
Amidst all that change, the narrator makes this profound observation. The world turned on its axis, ever spinning, ever coming back to where it started, but we did not change.
That's heavy. What does that kind of unchanging existence do to you when the whole world is constantly in flux?
It's central, I think. Immortality here isn't just living a long time. It's being fundamentally static while everything else evolves.
Like becoming a living relic?
Kind of. They settle in Berlin later, sunset of the 19th century, a city stuffed with factories and theaters, big enough to hold even your attention for decades. It just highlights the immense timescale they're operating on.
Spectators to history. Maybe increasingly alien.
You have to wonder.
But it's interesting, even with all that detachment, all that trauma, Constanta still seems to find, or at least notice, these little human connections.
Like Han, the embroiderer.
Exactly. The bright-eyed young woman whose needlework created entire landscapes from tiny stitches. The narrator says she provided company.
Yeah.
That sounds genuine.
It does. A little spark of something normal, maybe?
Maybe. And then there's that contrast with the woman in court. Much more cynical.
Oh, yeah. Her sharp analysis of power. How men operate and then women are another matter entirely.
It's quite pointed. What do these fleeting moments, the warmth with Han, the cynicism from the court woman, tell us about Constanta? Is she still capable of empathy?
Or
Just observing?
that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? These moments are important because they break the isolation. They hint maybe at a curiosity or even a longing for something you doesn't provide.
Like a flicker of her old self.
Perhaps. It shows even after centuries, human connection isn't totally meaningless to her, even if she processes it differently. The contrast between Han and the court woman shows she sees both sides of humanity, the beauty and the sharp edges.
A connection back to her own humanity, maybe, that's still there.
Could be. Faintly, but still there.
But that humanity, or whatever's left, is definitely scarred. There's that horrific story about another bride.
Oh, the one who had the breakdown, refusing food and water.
Yes, and your cure.
Yeah.
Slaughter the prettiest of the servants for her.
Just unbelievably gruesome.
It's stark, a brutal reminder of your methods and the darkness of their world. And even after the bride apparently recovers, the narrator says, your fears, however, were not put to rest. So even you isn't immune to anxiety, it seems.
Which is fascinating, right? It shows the psychological toll isn't just on the brides. But what's really interesting now is that despite witnessing all that horror, Constanta seems to be describing a shift in her own present state.
How so?
There's this glimmer of hope, almost. She talks about her current nights involving long walks and the scent of ocean breezes and the sound of people singing.
That sounds peaceful, almost normal.
Exactly. It feels like a deliberate move towards finding some kind of peace, maybe even defying your influence, which still seems to linger.
Right, because your voice still pops up in her dreams. But she says she's getting better at soothing myself back to sleep these days. That sounds like a huge deal. After centuries of control, learning to self-soothe. That's real progress, isn't it? Liberation.
It signifies everything, I think. It's about reclaiming her own mind, her internal space.
Taking back control.
Yes. Realizing that freedom isn't just about being physically away from you, but about dismantling the psychological cage you built. That's the real work.
And her deepest hopes reflect that, don't they? Wanting to stop asking God for his forgiveness.
And crucially, to uncurl the defenses around my heart and let someone see me the way you saw me. Vulnerable and naked and totally trusting.
Wow. So not just moving on from you, but wanting to be truly seen again, to trust again. That's incredibly vulnerable.
It really is. It's about rebuilding a self, finding the capacity for real connection, free from that old dynamic.
What an absolutely profound journey. From total subjugation to this fragile hope for connection. And it ends so enigmatically.
With the unspoken vow.
Yeah. She has one final promise to make to you, one I hope I will never break. It just leaves you hanging. What is that promise?
We don't know, but it underlines the ongoing weight of that relationship, even as she seeks release.
So we've journeyed through this really unique life, haven't we? Dominated by control, marked by trauma, living this strange immortality.
Absolutely. This memoir, it's a powerful look at memory, resilience, and the spirit, human or maybe inhuman, finding ways to endure, maybe even change.
It really makes you think. So for you listening, after exploring a life or many lifetimes so tangled up with such an overwhelming, unsettling force, what does it really mean to find release, to redefine yourself?
Yeah, how do you truly break free and become your own person after all that?
It's definitely something to chew on. How do we all confront our own pasts, really, and try to forge our own way forward? A question that sticks with you long after you hear Constanta's story.